Hey y'all, welcome to Anime Brew, a caffeinated quest, one series at a time. I'm Liz,
And I'm Maddie.
and today we are going to talk about Look Back, a
Yes.
show that was recommended by one of our commenters on Spotify. We do listen to our comments and we do reply, so if y'all have a series or a movie for us to review, please give us a review because it helps us a lot.
Yes.
Yeah. But before we talk about Look Back, how about we start with our iced coffee breakers, which we haven't done in quite a bit because we're behind on recording and did a mini episode or Toradora, which if you haven't watched, you need to watch.
Yeah. That was a fun
So
time.
it was. We got off topic, which we do often.
Yeah.
So with that, what ice caffeinated beverages have you been enjoying?
Yeah, so there's been a lot since our last time we talked about this in depth was the Delicious in Dungeon episode, which that's my favorite iced coffee breakers segment we've ever had because
It
it was
was.
very funny with Nicholas and all of the listener questions we got. That was like an hour of coffee.
It was. And a long discussion on how we're not addicted to caffeine and how
Yeah,
Frappuccinos is a gateway drug.
yeah. Which I just like to say to anyone listening, if Nicholas, if you hear this, you win. I'm just gonna say, Nicholas and Rachel, you guys win. I this year I'm addicted to caffeine, and I will admit it to the world here because I it's it's going like let me tell you about my I don't even know what day. Thursday I have a venti caramel frap and then I have y'all I got have you I was actually going to talk to you about this earlier and I forgot to bring it up. Are you familiar with the Panera Sip Club?
Sip Club?
Yes. So it's this membership and for where I live at least, you can get 2 months for free before you have to start
Ooh.
paying. And basically, you can literally get as much soda, the lemonade, as much fountain drinks like unlimited. Like you
Oh
pay
my
a fee
goodness.
per month and you get as much as you want. And so as you can imagine, I'm kind of I just redeemed my free 2 months, and it's very convenient because I live very close to Panera, and you can imagine that I'm kind of living there now. And yeah, it's so anyway, my to talk about my caffeine, like this was this one day earlier this week, I had venti caramel frap. Then I had multiple sodas from Panera. And then I finished my night with a sparkling ice.
Oh my goodness
So
gracious.
I don't think,
Really?
I don't know if I had water that day.
Oh no. At least I was really hoping that you weren't going to say that you had the charged lemonade on top of the venti
No,
frappuccino.
I I kind of refuse to drink those, but it's kind of convenient for me to say that I refuse to drink them at the same time because I'm actually like not the biggest lemonade person.
Hmm.
So I actually don't even know if I've tried one. Um, I'm sure they taste fine, but
Yeah.
it's just not like I'd rather have coffee. Like if I'm gonna intake, well, those are a lot of caffeine,
That's a
but
heart attack level of
I,
caffeine.
I mean, if you like one, okay. that's like on par with a Monster.
Yeah.
But yeah, not not great for you, but
Yeah.
not that what I'm doing is great for you either, but
Right.
whatever. Um, so yeah, that's how that's going. I have specifically tried a few things I wanted to shout out since this year. So the Valentine's Day beverages in Starbucks are out,
Yes.
and I have tried. Um, I was gonna pull up the app so that I've because I the cold brew. I think it's the called the chocolate hazelnut, but I didn't want to be wrong on that. Yeah, chocolate hazelnut cookie cold brew. So I tried that. Really good.
Oh, that
As
sounds
for
good.
the as for the cold brews that I've had from Starbucks, which is like most of them probably. they, that's one of the best ones, I
Mhm.
think. I still the pumpkin spice one would probably beat it out for me,
Yeah.
but um and then I also tried the chocolate covered strawberry frap.
Oh, okay.
It's actually not that good.
All right.
It's it something about the strawberry puree or something. It's not my favorite.
Hmm.
So personally, I can't really recommend. I mean, it's disappointing because it sounds like it would be really good,
All right. Yeah.
but something about the flavor was just off, and it could have been a one-off time with that one. I don't know.
Mm.
I don't think it's worth the money to try it again.
Okay.
But um listeners, if you try it and you have a differing experience with it, then let me know in the comments
Yeah.
or on Discord. Because I mean, yeah, yeah, I don't know if I'd be willing to try it again. But if someone said, "Hey, I had it and it was amazing," then maybe I would. But
Yeah.
yeah, so
You tried the new blackberry sage refresher. Yeah.
I have not yet.
That's your new challenge.
Okay, I will remember to do that and on our next episode.
Yes, please. It sounds so good.
I'll report back. Yeah, that does sound good.
Hmm.
Yeah.
How it's like the different seasonal refreshers that they have. Like the cranberry one that they had during Christmas time was really good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ho- Honestly, I don't of all the things on the Starbucks menu, I
Hmm.
haven't really had refreshers.
Okay. I think it's like I think they missed out on the marketing of having them caffeinated. Like I feel like they should have been a caffeinated type thing, or make
They
instead of doing
are.
the separated energy drinks, rather do energized refreshers. If you understand what I'm
Oh, well, they don't have nearly as much caffeine as coffee, but they
Yeah.
do have like I'm looking like the Blackberry Sage has 55 in a grande.
Okay.
So it's like pr about half of what you would expect from a coffee of that size.
Yeah.
Well, that depends on the coffee, but you get what I'm
Right.
saying.
Yeah, yeah.
But that's it is a little bit misleading, I think, because like for instance, one of my friends that was doing no caffeine, she she for some reason she thought that the refreshers didn't have caffeine in them. So she was getting refreshers occasionally and I was like, those have caffeine in them. And she was like, "Oh,
Oh.
well, oops." So I'm like, just assume anything from Starbucks has caffeine in it.
I mean, it's logical. It is.
Probably even the cake pops do. I'm just kidding.
Possibly can make sense why Gen Z is nuts.
Yeah.
Like, all that I see is Gen Z and Gen Alpha with cake pops.
Hey, they're really good. They're just too expensive, in my
They
opinion.
are. Yeah.
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 Um,
For
yeah, so
me,
oh,
uh,
I had two more things
oh, okay.
to shout out. That's okay. Um, so I have two matcha things that I've had since then. Um, a local place I tried, they have matcha protein shakes. And I told Liz about this already, but
Yeah.
they have it. So basically, it was a matcha with like vanilla protein powder in it, and I got it with oat milk in it, and it was good. Like the matcha was much better than Starbucks.
Yeah.
So it was also like it was kind of expensive, so I would expect better quality. Like, well, honestly, for a size on par with a grande, it was like $8. So that's honestly not, that's only a couple dollars more than a matcha at Starbucks.
But still expensive for basically like
But
a medium, like a
yeah,
small medium drink.
yeah. So you get what you pay for, I
Yeah.
guess. But it's like anything with coffee and matcha, like specialty drinks are just expensive. So
Hmm.
the other matcha that I had though that is from Starbucks that I wanted to shout out because it was pretty good. My friend told me to try this. Is you just get a normal iced matcha, but add a strawberry cold foam to it, and then
Oh,
instead of usually they do 3 pumps of classic syrup, but to make it a little bit less sweet because you have the foam, do two
mhm.
pumps of classic syrup and then substitute one for a pump of chai.
Chai and strawberry sounds like an interesting combo.
Honestly, it wasn't bad.
Really? Okay.
I I'm not sure why it didn't really taste like a matcha though. I will say.
Mm.
Like I think there's so much going on that it's like I think matcha is like a good base for it, but
Right.
Starbucks matcha isn't the best anyway, so you kind of
Mm.
just need to put flavoring in there
Yeah.
as much as you can because the matcha flavor itself doesn't really come through very well on its own.
Right.
So, but yeah, if you want something a little bit different, that's pretty
Okay.
good. Honestly, though, once again, I kind of have a problem with the pricing because I got a grande and adding the cold foam, I think was like it was like an 85-cent upcharge, and then there was like another upcharge for changing the syrup to chai. So I think overall the drink was also like over $8
That's insane.
with the and I was like, is it is it worth over $8? Eh, that's
That
hard to say.
that's insane. No.
Yeah.
But like after you told me about the matcha vanilla protein shake, I went and made my own. But I didn't have vanilla protein powder, so I used just like vanilla creamer. It is
Hmm.
so good, and I've been having one every single day.
Oh wow, nice.
Yeah. And it's honestly so good. And it's like one, and the comparison of what you can do at home with like milk and like, that's insane.
Yeah.
Because arguably, yes, matcha is expensive to buy in the US, but you're using like half a teaspoon, if that. You do not need a lot of matcha for it to be strong. If
Hmm.
anything, it's just going to taste horrible because it's overpowering and grassy and gritty.
Yeah.
But that is insane how much that is.
Yeah.
But matcha and vanilla is so good together.
It
I
really
cannot.
is.
It is. And another combo that I keep on thinking about, which explains why the chai works with the matcha, is cinnamon. Because in Kyoto, cinnamon and matcha is a common pairing to have. I suppose when you think about how they also pair it with red bean, I guess I can see why the strawberry is popular. Because the red bean is often mixed with strawberries. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Well, that is everything I wanted to shout out. So,
Same with me. I only wanted to talk about your trend of the matcha and vanilla.
hey, I mean, yeah, let's get listeners, let's make this a thing.
Yes.
Like post a picture of your uh matcha with vanilla in the Discord.
Yes, please. Yes. New challenge for the rest of y'all.
Yes.
Do it. Yeah. But moving on, what anime series have you been watching?
So, I think we have a lot of the same ones,
We
the
do.
weekly ones. So, I guess we can just kind of start going through that.
Yeah.
Blue Box.
That is good. That is going on for surprisingly long.
Yeah, I have not. You told me the newest episode was kind of crazy. I haven't watched it yet. For
I
reference, what episode number are we on at this point? Because depending on when the episode drops.
I think Japan may be a episode ahead, but I'm on episode 18.
Okay. That sounds. I don't know, actually. But.
Yeah. But episode 18, in my opinion, is peak animation for the series so far. And this and just the whole cinematic theory behind it is just, it's definitely one of the best has one of the best cinematic scenes and animation. It's
Okay,
like,
wow.
yeah, the soundtrack was great, animation was great, and it's just so good. And you wouldn't think about it because it's like one of the um fight scenes with the badminton. Spoilers, I'm sorry. But
That's okay.
it is so good. And it's like, oh my gosh, how is this so good? Because the rest of it, I was like skipping through the badminton parts. It's like, okay, they're tossing around a little birdie thing. And it's over dramatic.
The sports fans are angry right now.
Yes, I don't have an interest for the sports animes. I never got into haiku. I think I watched like one season of it and I could not get into haiku.
I've heard it's kind of boring. I think Mud said the same thing, actually.
I've had mixed reviews. Like some people are like, "Oh my god." Like, "Oh my gosh, this is so good. It's haiku." And then others are like, "It's a sports anime."
Yeah, because that's honestly haiku is like one of the few anime that I've like s- seen people watching in public. Like it's like that
Oh.
and like Jujutsu Kaisen
Yeah.
for some reason. I
Yeah,
don't
I
know.
know haiku is definitely one of the more TikTok and internet famous where I see more reels of it and memes
Hmm.
of. But yeah. But Blue Box, this episode is so good.
Okay, I
Yeah.
I looked and I've seen through episode 18 is out for me as well, but
Okay.
I've only seen through 17 so far.
Alrighty.
So, yeah, this show, it's like, it's interesting because it's like what you would expect out of a slow burn slice of life.
Alright, it's
Very,
painfully slow burn. Painfully.
very, yeah.
It's
And
like take
it's,
a slice of life combined with a sports anime. That's how slow the plot is.
yeah. And I don't know. I feel like I feel like this would kind of be a spoiler type of thing to say. I just, I'll just say this. I feel like the first 12 episodes and the second 12 have a very different tone to them,
Very.
and it almost kind of changed the type of show it was in a way.
I did.
It's kind of confusing, and I don't know how I feel about the show. And it's also like it's also so interesting because it's like that very, very slow burn slice of life sports series, interesting kind of love triangle thing, and
Right.
then but then put 5-star animation and soundtrack behind
Yes,
it. Like put like almost like, I mean, at least I haven't seen the newest episode, but like almost like Violet Evergarden
there
level
is.
animation.
Completely. And it's like, and it feels like each episode it gets better in the animation because I remember in the first two episodes, it's like, okay, there's clearly CGI use in this, which I've been noticing a lot more in newer animes where it's a lot more CGI, a lot more AI use,
Mm.
which has been frustrating because it's not the same quality. But as this show has gone on, I've noticed a lot less of it and a lot more higher quality stuff.
Yeah, it's really good.
It is.
Where I've noticed that, was there anything else that you wanted to say about Blue Box?
Mm-mm. No.
Okay. Cause another one that we've both been watching is Okitsura. The
Some. Yeah.
Is that how you say it? I don't know.
Um.
It's the Okinawa show.
Yeah. That's the main point.
And I feel like I noticed, I'm not sure if it was the most recent episode or the one before, but the scene that one of
The
the
Easter
scenes that's like
egg.
that they what did you say?
I noticed it in the Issa dance and
That's what I
the.
was about to say.
Yeah.
Yes. It was like, I think I like the art style of that show, but
Yes.
it was that specifically was kind of jarring to me because it
Very
went from
top tier.
traditional, very good
Yeah.
animation to that. Just kind
Yeah.
of threw me off.
Very. Especially when the landscaping and background of it is so good.
Right.
And then it just suddenly switched to very mediocre CGI.
Yeah. And it was like it was necessary for the episode, but I'd kind of rather them not have anything at all
Yeah.
compared to that.
And it's annoying because it's becoming a lot more prevalent in anime to notice the CGI, unfortunately. Like I noticed it in like Demon Slayer. And it's also becoming a lot more common in the lower level animes where they don't have um the funding to have actual animators where they have to use CGI. I mean, I can understand it in like hard to animate stuff like dancing and like and animals moving. But if you have to do it as minimal as possible rather than using it as a backbone, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Other than that, though, I am absolutely loving that show.
It is. Yeah, it's so cute. And you learn so much from it.
Yeah. It, yeah, it's just like it's like the show doesn't really feel like it takes itself too seriously. Like it's very silly and
Very.
it's kind of like there is a plot, but it's also just kind of like mini stories.
I like the mini stories. It
I do
reminds me
too.
of like Phineas and Ferb and like the show, like cartoons I used to watch as a kid,
Mhm.
where it's like two episodes in one.
Mhm. And Love is War is the same way too.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's yeah, it's just very clever how like each little mini-sode is kind of teaching you a different thing about
Right.
Okinawan culture.
Completely. Yeah.
And it's just following the main character that he moved there from mainland Japan, and he's a high schooler and likes this girl that is like she primarily speaks the Okinawan dialect to the point that um her friend has to translate what she's saying for him. And it's so funny because she's such a wild character.
She is. She is. And
Yeah.
she reminds me of like the pink hair girl in Totodora.
Oh yeah. Yes.
Especially after she like has her like little mini life crisis and only wears the bald cap for a bit.
Hmm.
She remind they have very similar personalities.
Yeah. Yeah, I see where you're coming from.
Yeah. But no, that show is just so cute. I loved like the little Sisha that like pops in every now and then.
Yes.
It's such a unique show compared to what's a mainstream right now.
Hmm.
It's definitely worth the watch on Crunchyroll.
Definitely.
Yeah. Another show that we've been watching is My Happy Marriage. Season 2 just came out on Netflix. It's been releasing weekly on like Mondays and Mondays, I think.
Mondays, yeah.
I don't know. It's it's a cute girly slice of life anime.
It's very cute. It also I don't know if slow's the right word, but kind of.
It's a unique slow burn. It's like skip the dating stage. They're engaged, but yet it's still basically dating.
I mean, this is spoilers for episode, I forget if it was episode 2 or 3. It was either 2 or 3, so spoilers, I guess. But what they finally kiss
After a whole season.
and they're engaged. So like, what are we doing?
Exactly.
But very cute.
Yeah, it's very Cinderella-esque, especially the main character. And that's sort of the point of it.
Yeah. I, I was watching I think it was also that same episode. I was watching with my friend and we were watching it for the first time at the same. Actually, no, I think I'd already seen it. Yes, I'd already seen the episode. She was losing her mind though when I why am I blank? I'm always blanking on the characters' names. The main girl. Anyway,
Yeah.
Mio. She's telling him about this is after the whole episode that she's like being like basically like verbally abused by his mom.
Right.
And then she tells him like, you know, your mom actually has like a good side to her or whatever. And my friend was basically yelling at the TV, like, what is like, no. Like,
Yeah. I
you
wanted to
tell him.
strangle the mother-in-law.
I know. I know. I was like, ugh. Mio is too pure for this world.
She is. She's a poor thing.
Yeah.
But this show, I love it. And it's I don't know. It's so different from what we have. And the magic system is so unique. Like, it's a different magic system than what we usually have. Honestly, it reminds me a lot of, like, Book Talk books and their magic systems.
Yeah.
And it's like My Hero, it's almost like My Hero Academia in some ways. And especially Mio's powers is, like, giving very, like, My Hero vibes in some ways. Like, I don't know how to explain it.
Because the power was like transferred to her.
It's, like, transferred to her, and it's, like, she's jumping into other people's dreams. And
Yeah.
it's a unique thing. Then there's a dude that's like freezing time and doing magic illusions, and
Yeah.
there's a whole evil team wanting to get rid of powers or make everybody have powers.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just it's really good, and the animation is so great.
Mm-hmm.
And the soundtrack is good. It's Evan Call. Evan Call did the soundtrack for Free Urine and Violet Evergarden. What definitely one of the best modern composers, in my opinion.
And Delicious in Dungeon, right?
Really?
I I want to say I might be wrong.
Mm.
Uh
Mm-mm.
no, sorry, I'm wrong. I don't know why I thought that, but never mind.
Yeah. But either way, it is so good. It's great. Another another good show to watch.
Yeah.
And I think we both have one show that we've been watching on our own this season.
Yeah, so I started the show Honey Lemon Soda
Mm.
and I got 3 episodes in. I either 4 or 5 are out right now. I'm not sure. I I don't think I'm gonna keep watching it. I hate to say it because I really like the pastel art style of
Mm.
it, and it seems like there's potential, but and it's made, I believe, by the same director as Toradora,
Okay.
but it's just very. It was just it feels like a slice of life that just doesn't have anything interesting to differentiate itself
Right.
in. Like it's just like shy girl comes to new school, meets
Golden Retriever
out
boy.
golden retriever boy exactly, and she's coming out of her shell. It's kind of like Kimi ni Todoke a little bit, or
Uh-huh.
actually a lot. It's a lot
Yeah.
like that, except I don't know because I've only seen the first 3 episodes, but it doesn't seem quite as slow burn as that. But I've just 3 episodes in, I was kind of first episode I was like, okay, like this looks like it'll be cute. Second episode I was like, I just feel like I've watched what I've already seen a million times.
Yeah.
Third episode I was like, okay, so now we have trope of like they went out on some kind of like school trip hike thing. So now we're gonna have, let's see how they interact like outside of the classroom.
Oh,
And
I
it's
see if
just
somebody puts themselves in danger in school.
exactly.
Right.
And actually, if I recall, I think that episode actually did end on some kind of cliffhanger with I actually think it was one of the side characters if something happened, but it's already been like 2 or 3 weeks, I don't remember. And I guess it wasn't enough of a cliffhanger for me to be dying to watch it the next week.
Right.
I think the other thing that also disappointed me about it, which I mean, I'm open to like after the show is complete, if reviews are like, oh, it does get better or
Mhm.
something interesting happens, I'm willing to keep trying it. But the other thing that for me important slice of life as well as having the interesting main characters is like when I think of like Toradora or oh my goodness, why am I'm totally blanking on the other Hormia. Um
Yeah.
my favorite I what I really like about those series as well is the side characters are also
Yeah.
pretty unique and have
Likeable.
like they're likable, they have their own personalities. Like sometimes it annoys people when episodes spend too much time developing side characters, but I think that's kind of
I like that.
important to make it
Build the
well-rounded.
world. Yeah.
Build the world, I mean. Yeah. But this I couldn't tell you a single thing about a side character. They're super average,
Mhm.
nothing to say about them.
Right. Yeah.
So that's another thing that disappointed me. So
Yeah.
that's my thoughts so far on that series.
Yeah. Slice of lives have definitely been repetitive. And that's why shows like Blue Box and My Happy Marriage and Okisura has really been like standout because they're so unique in the slice of life romance rom-coms. They're
Yeah.
definitely
It's such a oversaturated genre that
right.
like you need that for
Yeah,
it
completely.
to not feel like something I've already seen 20 times.
Right. Because like every season, especially winter season, there's at least 3 new mainstream rom-com slice of lives. And it just it does become so repetitive.
Yeah. And there is a comfort in familiarity. I mean, why else do people watch new Hallmark movies every Christmas?
Right.
But as someone who like primarily watches anime as like I watch anime more than I watch like TV
Normal
or
TV. Yeah.
movies or anything else really. So I mean I do like something cozy here and there,
Hmm.
but since it is my like primary watching entertainment, like I don't want to watch the same thing over and over again.
Yeah, no. And it does. It just, yeah. And there's always the main couple tropes of school trip, summer festival, going to the beach, ex- school, spring break, graduation.
Yep.
And it just repeats that normal schedule. And sometimes it repeats in a single series, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's like, why? And it just gets boring. It really does.
And there's just not many other options when every slice of life is set in high school, I think is the other
The other,
thing, the other problem. Like, and that's why, like, I like something like Sign of Affection that,
yeah,
you know, they're older, they're in college, so they can kind of drive places. And
honestly, that having more college-based series would definitely be more enjoyable. Okay. Sorry. And but there are a couple that I've noticed have started to come into circulation where it's post high school, like Ice Guy and his colleague or something like that.
Mhm.
That one's a unique one because it also has a magic system, which is fun. And there's a couple others. I haven't watched them, so I don't know the names, but there are some in circular in recent seasons.
Yeah, I mean, like, Agretzko is one of my favorite slice of life shows of all time. Not
Yes.
traditional anime in the slightest, but
That one is so good.
yeah, it's it's everything I like about slice of life because, you know, my favorite non-anime show is The Office, so it's everything I want in a show. It's so good.
It is. And honestly, I could do an episode on that. Like I'm stopping myself from talking about it because I know I could talk about it for.
Absolutely.
So stay tuned for maybe a future episode of that.
Yeah. Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. Yeah.
For
Um,
me,
so yeah, for you.
I've been watching Apothecary Diaries, which is also season 2. That one is really good because it's like a mystery type show. I don't know what category to put in. It's like a mystery because this girl is figuring out who's poisoning the emperor and his basically concubines. I don't know what else to call them. It's rural China. So it's like this dude has. It's weird. But either way, it's like rural China combined with Japanese culture. It's really cool. I love like the whole castle system of it.
So
And
is it in a similar time era as My Happy Marriage?
My Happy Marriage is like post World War II almost, or post World War One in some ways. In a fantasy
Okay.
world.
Yeah.
This is definitely like early like Meiji era. Meiji. It's like I don't know how to describe it because Japan. I'm trying to think of one of Japanese history.
It's okay. I didn't mean to get you on the spot with your historical knowledge. I was just curious.
Yeah, I don't know how to describe it, but basically it's an emperor, and so and he just has different and there's different high ranking ladies, and so basically their ladies in waiting are poisoning the other ladies in waitings and the head ladies. So this girl who got kidnapped and basically is now enslaved for this palace, and it's not really spoilers, it's backstory. But basically, she's figuring out who is doing what in the castle and trying to help. Because she's a daughter of apothecary. So she knows medicine, she knows poisons. But equally, it's a romance. Because the head guard is like her supervisor. I don't know. It's interesting. I'm terrible at explaining it and probably not making it sound good. But it's super good. The animation is also top tier. Top tier.
Okay.
And it's just an interesting plot. And the characters are funny. And it's just enjoyable. And it's one of those animes where it's so niche and out there. It's a breath of fresh air because it's so new.
Yeah. It definitely sounds interesting.
You would like it. I think you would.
Okay.
Yeah. And other than that, I don't know if you started your rewatch of it, but I'm rewatching Love is War
Yes.
for our next episode. And that's been enjoyable because I haven't seen it in like 5 years.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it's been a bit.
Yeah, I'm rewatching, but I started my rewatch from season 2 because well, last year I watched season 1 and then I rewatched season 1 with my friend and then finished the show. So I feel like I've already seen season 1 twice
Right.
recently. And also, I'm just watching it just cuz it's so entertaining cuz like I
It
just
is.
finished it back in like October, so it hasn't even really been long at all. Um,
Yeah.
it, but it's so funny. It's so great. So
I think you were watching Love is War when we first started the podcast.
was I really?
I think so.
I've just been. It's just been a year long of like going back to Love Is War,
Yeah. So
which
that is also
yeah,
really good.
I could see that as a show I consistently rewatch. To be honest, 'cause it's so funny.
It is so funny and it really does not have a plot. I feel
Yeah,
the shows without the plot are so easy to rewatch.
yeah.
It's like nothing is really is happening. It's just funny.
Like it is, but it isn't, and I think
Right.
that's why like a show like I go
Loki
back
Hero,
to yeah that um yeah I don't know there's not very many anime
like that.
that are like that yeah it's kind of like like I said I watched The Office kind of a
Right.
lot and that's such an easy show to go back and watch random episodes
Mhm.
because there is a progressing plot over the eight
Over
or
time.
nine seasons, but
Right.
each episode is its own thing. So
Yeah. I need to watch The Office.
yeah, you do.
Yeah.
Yeah, you do. I actually have not seen all of it. So that
Oh,
is
really?
no, I actually haven't.
Okay.
Mainly because I'm so like I know like some of the things I I know pretty much everything that happens, but it's like if I finished it, this is such a weird mindset. I don't know if anyone thinks about things this way, but I'm like, if I finish it, then I'll be sad because that means that I'm like done with it. Even though I could go back and watch as much as I want, but it's like once I've like finished it, I don't know
It's
how to
not the
explain my
same.
mindset. What?
It's not the same as just watching it, trying to.
Yeah.
I get what you mean.
Yeah. Because I've seen quite a few episodes multiple times just from watching it on like live TV or just
Right.
like it airing. But my like dedicated watch like going through it, I have not finished. So
Right.
anyway, that's not anime though.
No, but yeah. it's funny, there's a couple main shows that people watch. So it's like The Office, Friends, Gilmore Girls, Golden Girls. There's like 5 like main sitcoms
Yeah,
that
which I started Gilmore Girls this past month,
right.
and I'm like almost through season one. That that show has really funny writing
It
too.
does.
It's very good for like there's a reason that it's up there
Yeah,
on the sitcoms because it's great.
it's so enjoyable.
Like so far I would say I like it more than Friends.
Yeah, I do
I don't know
too.
if that's a hot take or not, but I I don't want to say Friends is overrated because I think it does deserve the hype. Like I think
It
it
does.
is a very good show, but it's never super resonated with me compared to other similar shows. I don't know.
Right. Same. Because I mean, I've watched a couple episodes of Friends, and it's never something that's like, okay, I want to finish. It's like if I don't have anything else to watch, I'll watch it.
Yeah, if it's just on or something.
Yeah. Like I wanted to watch it when it was still on Netflix years ago, but since then, I haven't been able to find it on a streaming platform.
I think it's on Max.
Okay.
I think. I think it's only on Max and then like live TV or like Hulu TV, but
Right.
not available to stream anywhere else.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Um, yeah, but that's basically everything I've been watching. I mentioned Golden Girls, which is funny. The comedy is a little bit out there for me, but it's a funny one.
Okay.
Yeah. Just one of those mindless things that I turn on in the background.
Yeah.
Yeah. But if there's nothing else that we want to talk about, I think maybe we can actually go back to talking about Look Back and start talking about the actual episode focus.
Yes.
Yeah. So with that, look, I already mentioned that somebody told us to watch Look Back in our comments. I knew nothing about it beforehand, but
Me neither.
it definitely is super good. And
Yes.
it's actually made by the manga creator of Chainsaw Man, which you would think it would have a bigger, you would know about it more because it's by the same creator of Chainsaw Man. But, never heard of it. The animation style is definitely very similar, which we'll talk about later on. Um, the talking about the plot, it is so simple.
It's simple yet incredible how much they put into an hour because it's not even a
Thank you.
full-length movie. It's just an hour.
Yeah,
And I finished that. I finished that tears. I was
I
like,
know.
oh, I was like, no. Like I knew where it was going. I was so like, I mean, I was crying before it ended, but then when the credits hit and I was like, that's it. I was like, I don't know what do I do with myself after that? Like,
Right.
like
It's
okay.
like I don't I don't know how such a simple plot can carry so much emotion and so much like actual meaning because this show was very impactful for me.
Yeah.
Like the message behind it is so good.
Yeah.
It's like, but they delivered it in like the saddest way.
Well, I mean, it's yeah. So I guess do we just want to like walk through it from the beginning, kind of?
Yeah, I suppose. So we're basically introduced to we wrote down the names before
Fujino.
Fujino. Yeah.
Fujino's yeah.
And basically she's this very pride I can't think of words right now. But
Arrogant.
arrogant, very almost annoyingly arrogant. How she just feels like the popular person doing the manga for the school newspaper. You can already sense right away that she's wanting to do the manga for the popularity. It's like, yeah, sure, I'll sign you an autograph.
Yeah. She's like, "Oh, that little sketch that only took me like a few minutes."
Yeah. And it's like so arrogant. And then we get introduced to the other main character. Once again, I can't. Um,
Kiyomoto.
Yomoto. And she's just this shy little girl that I don't understand her backstory of why she's not attending school.
Right, and I kind of wonder if it leaves that like purposely vague for like maybe viewers to kind of draw their own conclusions from. I'm not really sure. I mean, we know that she's different socially, but that seems to be as a result of
Being isolated.
being locked in her house at
Yeah.
all times. But yeah.
At first, I knew that spoilers, she was going to be one to die.
I
If,
didn't know that anyone was dying.
oh no, I didn't know that anyone was going to die, but it's like, if someone was, it was probably going to be her. But I was thinking Lorelai and April type. Like she was sick and that's why she wasn't going to school. I did not
Right.
expect the ending of the film.
Me neither. No.
And going back to the plot of how arrogant Fujino is, it's like she even bullied the girl in the beginning with the comic strip.
Mm-hmm. Because
And
she felt threatened by
yeah,
this girl. Because the girl was drawing a manga for the paper, and the moment she was like, "This girl is better at this than me," and she couldn't live with that. So
yeah,
then she makes it her life's mission to become a better manga artist.
right.
And then instead of having a humbling experience when Fujino meets Kiyomoto, she kind of like
Feeds off
uses
of it.
that, she feeds off of it, and it's like a power. Like suddenly, instead of feeling threatened by this girl, she's like, "Oh, I can use this
You
girl."
It's
Yeah.
almost narcissistic. And
Oh
so
yeah.
completely. Yeah. Like I'm using you to feel better about myself. So
Yeah.
basically, they start creating manga together as they grow up, and the montage of them growing up is so cute together.
It is.
Like they're becoming best friends. It's so cute.
I thought the movie did a really good job of moving us through time because it
Yeah.
never like explicitly said 2 years later or
Right.
anything like that. It was just like it used like cues and like dialogue, and of course the animation.
Right.
They are growing up, but
Yeah.
it did a really good job of storytelling with the animation and
There.
all of that.
And the scene of them getting the money for their first comic. and going on
Mhm.
their little shopping spree. That was so cute. Then, the girl had to be arrogant and ruin it. It's like, okay, you can pay me back one day. Just,
Yeah.
it's like, you just sort of ruined the moment with your arrogance.
Yeah.
And and we have the montage. And it comes to probably the most narcissistic point for this girl, where Kiyomoto is like, I want to do my own thing. I want to become a better artist and go to art school. And Fujino is like, you're not good enough. You cannot get in. You cannot be an artist without me.
Right. And yeah, that was like 100% like narcissism. Like when, because it was going to, because she has this whole plan.
Right.
They're doing the manga together, they're being very successful. And so now she's like, I have to shut her down. Like,
Yeah.
there is, like, there, because she brushed it off like, oh, I can just get another editor, or I can get someone else to do the background. But the
Yeah.
truth was, she knew in her mind that she wasn't going to have anyone as good as
Right.
Yamato.
Yeah. And I don't and that part just definitely so frustrated me. It's
Yeah.
and it's like y'all were best friends. How can you just flip like that? And
They were best friends, but it never really was like
a
a
healthy
true
relationship.
friendship. It was never a
Yeah.
healthy friendship. It was,
It was
yeah.
the shy, innocent girl not knowing what better that she can have,
Yes.
and letting the narcissist use that basically.
Yeah.
And so yeah, then there's another the montages are so good because it's a great time jump. And we see Fujino become so successful with her manga, like slumping back to her isolated self and only focusing on that. Till probably the saddest twist that she could think of the other girl getting murdered.
Yes.
It's like,
And the report on the news.
and her just like flipping out of her self focusedness and it's like, oh, wait, I actually cared about this person.
Yeah, like
Oh,
it's really devastating when you see her try to call her, the phone
yeah,
doesn't pick up, and then she calls her mom because she doesn't know what else to do. And like what was interesting about it is, so right before that moment, and I thought this was really effective with the animation, is she's like she's sitting at a desk and she's like bouncing her knee, and then it's
mhm,
like progressively getting faster.
right,
And also you hear, it's not, I think it's meant to be like her thoughts or a phone call that or a conversation that happened, but she was saying that her current, like the artist she was working
right,
with, like was going too fast. Like that
yeah,
she was good, but going too fast, which is, but then after the scene of her calling her mom,
mm,
or not after, the news happens, she calls, Kiyomoto doesn't pick up, then she calls her mom. It flashes back to the two girls, and it was interesting because in their conversation, Kiyomoto was saying, like, I go too slow. So it
yeah,
was kind of like that
flip,
reverse. And
right,
Fujino saying, like, it's fine, you'll get faster.
yeah,
So that was kind of an interesting
it is,
thing to
right,
me.
Yeah, it's like she's thinking that she's now being left behind, if I'm understanding the scene correctly. Or
It was just more like it was, I think, another way of showing that Fujino wasn't really respecting her
right,
or
I
like
see.
or appreciating her art enough because it was like she goes too slow. New
Uh,
artist she was working with goes too
go to
fast and it doesn't do enough quality.
I see. Okay. Yeah, that is a good contrast. Yeah. Then like this dream montage of like what if she
Oh,
never
that was devastating.
that is. And it
That
also and it still shows her arrogance.
Yes, because she imagines herself going to the art school and basically does she
Saving
kill
her.
the Yeah, she saves her friend. I don't think she just like kicks the guy.
Yeah.
And then when she's like in the ambulance, then she's still like talking herself up basically.
Completely. And
Even even in this yeah, in this which honestly at first when that was happening because she goes back to the house and finds like she's obviously very emotionally conflicted because
right.
she sees the little comic strip
Mhm.
and it seemed like she was guilty for that
Right. But
because
equally
she tears it up and
yeah.
then which at first I was like I think because after having seen movies like Maboroshi and stuff, I was like, are we about to have some kind of parallel reality type of thing going on here? So I was like, for a split second, hoping that this was some kind of like
Happy
parallel reality
ending?
storytelling that could make it a happy ending. No.
No. It stays sad and depressing and it's like and then she goes into her room and just sees how much this girl idolizes her. And she's just feeling more and more guilty.
Yeah.
And then it just ends with her going back to self-isolation with the comic strip saying basically and it's a great symbolism of how she just sort of flipped. We obviously don't get enough. How she just flipped from I'm arrogant and doing this for my own pride to I'm doing this for her.
Mm-hmm.
And I just love how the two girls symbolize the two different like motivations in life. Like you're either doing it to feed your own ego or you're doing it because it makes you happy. And I definitely really um I connected a lot with this film because of this main message. Because I often find myself as a pianist, you can relate because you also play piano. And as an artist, because I do the podcast, balancing am I doing this to feed my ego? Or am I and to make other people see how good I am? Or am I doing this because I love doing it?
Yeah.
And I often, find myself lost in doing it for feeding my ego or trying to prove myself to others.
Yeah.
And it's like the first time I watched it, I really did not like Fujino. But like the second time I just watched this like right before the episode, I really caught on to the fact that she said, "Oh, I just did this in 30 minutes." Because I've done that before. And I don't know, I just really like felt represented in this film, just the balance of the creator. Am I doing this for arrogance and ego, or am I doing this for love? And it's like there's definitely a balance.
Yeah. I mean, it's true that comparison is the thief of joy.
Yeah.
And so you can definitely see that here with just are you are you doing art or something creative because you love it and it's your passion, or to be the greatest and the best?
Right.
So, yeah, yeah, it's a lot.
That's a lot, and that's a good
And
message.
also I think just like also realizing like having like appreciation for the people that you work with in your life, and
Yeah.
realizing that you're super lucky to have that, and you could lose that at
In a
any
minute.
time. Like everything that you have and are like blessed with in your opportunities and stuff, like that's not guaranteed.
It's
And
not.
so like just like appreciating the people around you, and not like, even if you're in like Fujino, I would say, she was the more like, I think she could like, not being arrogant, like she still could have been a natural leader. I mean, I think
Yeah,
Kiyomoto, like I think they could have had like a healthy friendship that
they
was
could've.
like the one person more in charge, and that's okay,
Right.
without, you know, bossing around the other person.
Yeah.
So, yeah, but yeah, it's really terrible that Fujino had to lose Kiyomoto to realize
Realize.
how much that she meant to her.
Mhm. And that realization and then it's just so sad. Because it really is true that, they can all go away and you can't. And yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. But um I
that
also
will just that will just be sad. Go ahead.
and I also related to Kiyomoto and just how shy she is, and I related to that. And this anime definitely does a very good job at representing like different personality traits, very polar personality traits, and balancing the two.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, and I mean, we'll talk about animation, but I think it also did a good job with that in how their body language was animated. There was
very.
a very clear difference between them
Yeah.
in that way too, and how they held themselves.
Mhm.
So, yeah, trying to think of anything else about the story. Do you have more points for the story?
Not really. I just, the character growth is very good. Like, not like Fujino, she stays pretty stagnant till like the very end. But Kiyomoto, she you see how she does become a little bit more bolder. It's like she told Fujino, like, I'm going to art school. I'm doing my own thing now. I don't I don't need your support anymore. You know?
And yeah, and also like when Fujino was like, you can barely even speak to the cashier, and which was a really mean thing to say, but
That's a
and
very big face.
and because listen, I understand what ordering the anxiety of ordering food, okay? Like
Mhm.
the cashier anxiety is real. But
Yeah,
also but also like Kiyomoto was like, yes, but I'm going to learn. Like I'm going
right.
to put myself out there and grow. And so that was a very brave thing of her to be like
Yeah,
be
completely.
like this might be what you're saying might be true, but I'm going to stand up for myself and
Do what
I'm
I
going
want
to
to.
gonna do what I want to do. I'm gonna grow and learn in the process.
Right.
And like any good friend
Should
would
have supported
respect
her.
that and
Yeah,
supported that and been like, I'm going to be there for you.
yeah. But of course she didn't. And honestly, I wish in a perfect world and a perfect slice of life anime that they came back together and Kiyomoto didn't die. It's like, okay, we are going to make a killer manga anime series. And it's like, I don't know. That's what I wanted, is them to come back together and be like, I am wrong. I was wrong to put you down. You're great. I need you.
Yeah.
I wanted that.
Yeah. I I feel like there was a different series that we talked about this with. I don't remember, but like I think it was I don't think it would have been as impactful if
The
that
ending.
that would have been the case.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Unfortunately, yeah.
So,
But but yeah.
but yeah.
Yeah. But the animation, it does such a great job at really portraying the characters. And also the character growth. Like Kiyomoto, she's very shy, very scared. So she's always hunched over, always like grasping her hands. You know, looking down, great body language in the animation style. But then in her final, like, actual voice acting scene, where she's standing up for herself, she's like standing tall, looking straight in the eye, and being very bold and like a whole flip in her body language. And Fujino was very arrogant in their body language, in her body language.
Mhm.
Just overall a great like sense of animating. The animation style itself is very simplistic. Like very little shadows, very little blending, and the actual animation.
Yes, it's honestly um with the eyes and faces and stuff, it's not my favorite
No,
personally. Um I got used to it as the movie went on.
it's a very Chainsaw Man, very Sojin animation style and art style.
Yeah.
Like it's not something that you expect from the show. Is not a slice of life, but I suppose it's in the category of slice of life, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
So the animation style really does not fit. It really, it, it reminds me so much of the clips I've seen of Chainsaw Man, especially the facial expressions in Fujino.
Mm.
It reminds me so much of Chainsaw Man. I don't know how to explain it. But also just Soujin anime in general.
I think this is the first thing.
Mm,
Well, I haven't seen Chainsaw Man, so
alright.
this would be the first thing by that director
Yeah.
that I've seen. Or no, it was the manga, but you
Right.
know what I mean.
Yeah, I get it. But the backgrounds is also very good. The landscapings are great.
Yeah. Yeah, they do a really good job with the backgrounds and like you were already saying with the montages in general.
Yeah.
So like it's very good.
It
The
is.
character design is I don't know. I'm not sure how I feel about it, but everything else about it is great.
You could even talk about the clothing that they gave the two characters. Because Hiyomoto was very conservative, like cardigans and like jackets, like hiding herself. And Fujino was very tomboyish to sort of like push the arrogance. Moreover,
Yeah.
oh, they did a very good job in like the not in the character designs outside of. I don't know how to explain it. The clothing and the body language is what I'm trying to say.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a good point. Yeah, also, yeah, like you're saying with the tomboyishness, like Fujino has like shorter hair
Right.
and Kiyomoto kind of her hair's long, but it's also just a lot more messy,
Yeah.
which kind of also shows a good contrast in
Very.
their
Yeah.
characters.
It does. Probably the thing that stood out to me the most in the show though was the soundtrack. The soundtrack in this was so amazing.
Yes.
Like
It,
I
go ahead.
you go.
Okay. I was just gonna say the I like that it was kind of primarily piano based.
Yes.
You know, we both play piano, so um and yeah, especially but then towards the end with the strings as
Right.
well.
Yeah.
It always built up in the climactic
Very well.
moments
Yeah.
super well.
Very.
And I don't remember, but it's kind of like is it the same like recurring theme every or is it different songs?
It's different songs, but very similar keys and notes and patterns. That it feels very similar.
Yeah.
And they just like sort of grow from each other. And I haven't looked at like the sheet music yet. But both times I've watched this film, I stopped directly around 3 minutes right during the introduction. It's like, pause, I need to find the sheet music for this. I still haven't, but both times I have paused it to look for sheet music.
Hey, that's an indicator right there.
Yes.
Great soundtrack.
I mean, the melody and it all is just so like refreshing. It's like a happy, like refreshing, calming type piece. It's so good.
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely I'd put this soundtrack like on par with the Shinkai films like Your Name, Mother, and
Wow.
Review and A Silent Voice.
Yeah.
So it's really good.
Yeah. But the storytelling between how like Shinkai films and this film worked with the soundtrack is very different in some ways. Because I feel like the Shinkai films was a lot more dramatic and a lot more on point with the climax, whereas like a lot more deliberate. Whereas this one was very subtle, but you notice it.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah. But the soundtrack is so good. And we always say how either soundtrack or the animation carries the film or not. The soundtrack carried this film the whole entire way when the plot is so simple and the animation is very simplistic and doesn't really match the genre.
Yeah.
The soundtrack just carries it the whole entire way and gives it that emotional impact. Because the climax, it fits it so well.
Yes.
It's so good.
Yeah. Um I can't think of really anything else I wanted to mention. Do you have any like closing thoughts?
Not really. It's a good film. We've said that so many times.
It
But
really is though. I just like I finished it and I was just like I'd
dang.
still like I know I already said this, but how did they do all of that in an hour? Like
Right.
it's still I still like wow.
Yeah, how it's so impactful in 40 minutes.
Yeah.
Definitely a good show. A good movie. Um,
And I don't think it's very well known. I had never heard of it, but it just came out last year.
yeah. And
So,
I don't remember ever hearing about it in Japanese theaters. And it went straight into Amazon Prime. And if
that's too
that says
bad.
yeah, and if that says anything how it's on Amazon Prime and didn't get on like Netflix or anything like that, that just sort of shows how small of a film it is. Because Amazon Prime
Right.
really does not have good films.
No, they don't. They just got the Mario movie added to Prime, and I was pretty shocked by that.
Yeah, I saw
I was like,
that.
that's on Prime? I was like, I thought, yeah. Oh, it's either trash you've never heard of or something
Oh,
random from 25 years ago.
yeah,
So, yeah, it's kind of sad because
and
because when I see an anime on Prime, I just assume that it's mediocre at best.
right. But this was anything but mediocre.
Yeah. Yeah. I get and also I don't the description of this movie, I don't think it prepares you at all
Mm-mm.
for what you're
No.
about to get into. You just you just expect it to be something like cute or whatever,
Yeah, it's just two friends drawing manga.
I
No.
can't imagine like a kid stumbling across this or something and then just
I,
emotional damage.
I feel bad for a kid that does that.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, this is not one of the bright, happy animes.
Nope.
Yeah. Uh, anything else do you think?
No.
Okay. We do have one last minute question for the episodes. This is one that you will answer because I don't know much of much about this
Oh,
question.
I just looked at it.
Yeah. So what 21 Pilot song would work best in anime?
Okay. Let's give the
Y'all.
listeners some context while I think about this.
Yeah.
So Presto and I have been, I guess, in a 21 Pilots obsession at the same time. Kind of coincidentally at first, because like the beginning of this year, I brought it up, and then he was also starting to listen to them more around the same time.
Mhm.
And so, anyway, um, hmm, this is, I don't feel like the genre of 21 Pilots makes sense at all with anime.
I mean, I guess
Um,
if you think of something like Jujutsu Kaisen chain like one of the like the action animes and gorier animes, maybe. But really, really not.
okay, I feel like maybe a song like Vignette could make sense for like Jujutsu Kaisen. Now that you
Hmm.
say that, like, oh, maybe not, but like the vibes are there. I don't think the
Yeah.
meaning of the song really has anything to do with that, but um, well, actually, hmm, hmm. Oh, I'm gonna take too long on this.
Yeah. I
Uh,
mean,
this is like impossible. Um,
the obvious answer, just because I don't know much about 21 Pilots, is the line for the Arcane series. Because Arcane is basically a American anime.
oh, yeah.
I've watched 3 episodes after Nicholas told me to watch it. I'm going to watch it and finish it at some point. It's just a very different genre to what I'm used to. The animation is super unique. It reminds me of like Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse.
See, yeah, I've heard of it. I'm thinking about like I feel like you could have some kind of like you could have some kind of oh, you know what? This idea just hit me. So, you know the song Stressed Out, of course?
Yes.
Well, imagine like cells at work, right? And this person is just having a really, really depressing life, and they're like me with my caffeine addiction. And
That's
then because I don't know, a lot of the songs, like even 21 Pilot songs that have a like more upbeat vibe, the meaning of a lot of these songs are not the happiest.
yeah,
Like,
no.
oh, another one in that example would be Mulberry Street, which
Mm.
is that Mulberry Street would be an interesting like outro anime song actually. I don't know what context it would make sense for, but the basically the song's about like let yourself be sad, like don't it kind of has commentary on like um not relying on synthetic highs is like one of the lyrics in the song.
Mm.
And there's actually some debate about it in regards to like antidepressants, but we don't need to get into all of that.
Yeah.
I don't think that's what the song, I really don't think the song is referring to that, but anyway. That's like an upbeat kind of song, but that's an example of an upbeat song that kind of has like a
All right.
not, I don't know, other songs all their songs, I just don't think
Out of
I could spend forever on this question, but
yeah,
I don't know.
out of the songs that I know, the only one that stands out to me is Heathens. Like I see a depressing killing montage of like a morally gray a main character just like killing a whole bunch of people, and it sounds morbid saying it
Okay.
out loud.
You know what I just thought of? You know, Zom 100?
Yeah.
The main character would totally be listening to Ride. Just think
Yes.
about going down on that RV or whatever, just like not worrying about life. Well, being
Yes.
like, I've been thinking too much. Like, while they're just, while he's, yeah, forgetting about the
Mhm.
zombie apocalypse.
Yeah. There's also House of Gold. That's like the only upbeat one that I can think of from 21 Pilots, but I don't know how it would fit.
Uh,
Other than like a random outro that doesn't really relate to anything, like a couple of the My Hero outros.
yeah. I'm trying to think of like, I feel like, also for a shonen, maybe, have you heard Heavy Dirty Soul?
Mm-mm.
Okay. That it just kind of has like the vibe of like I don't know if the lyrics because it's like can you save my heavy dirty soul? I don't know what anime that would make sense for, but it kind of just has the the chorus has the vibes of like a shonen intro in my opinion.
Mm.
Hmm.
Right. You know what I'm thinking about now that I'm thinking about the Heathens montage I have in my head? I'm thinking of like Sword Art Online and Kyoto just like killing so many monsters and just getting like completely um wiped out from it. As I remember I for some reason I see the scene like so vividly of like a main character just like wiped out from killing people. I sound morbid. But
Um,
I don't know. But I like this type of question though.
yeah, this is interesting.
Honestly, if anybody got to the end point of this, give us another artist to look at for next episode.
Yeah,
And we'll do this again because this is actually fun.
yeah. Um,
And talking about this, I don't want to put you on the spot, but you told me a very good idea for the Discord that you were thinking about. Do you want to
already
promote that?
forget. Wait, do I want to? Oh the playlist.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So, you should join the Radio Chaos Discord. I know we are literally such a broken record saying that, but it's literally it literally is, I think, my favorite place on the internet at the moment.
It is.
And it's just we have so much fun here. And so lately, we've been renaming ourselves after. So some of us have been taking our username and then fitting it into an artist.
Right.
So, and the idea started because of Presto became 21 Prestos, and then we got uh
Like yes.
yeah, Logan was like, imagine octagons. And
Yeah.
so it just kind of spiraled from there. And Adam slash Marlon was like, you should like rename yourself to like just think of like any artist that would like play their music in like a Kohl's or something. Because that was kind of the vibe. And then it just kind of spiraled from there. So if you join the Discord and you see all of us, like for instance, I'm Arielu Grande. So is that Ariana Grande or a Riolu Grande from Starbucks? I don't know, but it works for both. So yeah, if you join, that's me.
Yeah.
And I had the idea that we should make a community playlist just because
Just why
to
not?
because why not? Add to
More
the chaos.
interaction, add more chaos.
So at some point I'll make a community playlist on Spotify. I'm sorry, Apple Music people, you are welcome to make your own, but
Yes.
I'll be vibing on Spotify.
Yes. Because Spotify is superior in that it's a constant battle that we have.
It is, and it's superior because you know what you can't listen to on on Apple Music. You could listen to it on Apple Podcast, but that's irrelevant. You can listen to Anime Brew on Spotify, so that instantly makes it better.
Yes. You
You
don't
can
need a
also listen
separate
on
streaming form.
Yeah, that's just too, some people they say they like it separate. No.
No.
I like seeing my music, my podcasts, and my audiobooks
All together.
all convoluted in this mesh. Actually, Spotify does have actually a very impressive interface for
It does.
everything that they put in there, actually. It's come a long way. But
It does.
anyway, that was a long explanation of I just want a playlist that probably no one will use because it will be so incredibly random, but that's okay.
Yeah. But
Anything
yeah.
else?
No, join the Discord. Join the playlist once you make it. And obviously subscribe and like. Every like, every subscriber, every comment helps. We check our comments all the time. We listen to them. We listen to questions. We always answer the questions, like the 21 Pilots one. So if you
Okay,
have
don't take that too far though. We won't answer literally anything.
yes,
Just that was unnecessary.
but
Like,
podcast related, we will comment and review. If you have suggestions for what we watch, obviously we just made an episode on a comment suggestion. And someone did recommend us Yona of Dawn. I don't know if you're still listening, but we will do it at some point. We will. we already planned the next year out.
which did we say? I know we said what we were watching. Did we say Love is War is next?
Yes. Well,
Okay.
not like out here, like
Okay.
next episode, but yeah.
Yeah.
That's the other thing. Subscribe so then you can watch Love is War. Listen to us talk about Love is War.
Yeah.
And with that, do you want to promote your stuff?
Sure. If you join the Radio Chaos Discord, you'll see that we are one of many podcasts and YouTubers here. So, if you want to listen to me ramble more for some reason, then you should check out the Gamer Girl podcast if you're a Nintendo fan or just gaming fan in general, as well as the other gaming podcasts in the community. And also, I sadly have not streamed this year yet, but I was streaming weekly, and I hope to go back to that at some point and stream on my YouTube channel, Purple Riolu. But in the meantime, you should go subscribe and check out all the VODs, all the random videos that are already there for you to enjoy. So, yeah.
And with that, I think we talked about everything and mentioned all of the side stuff. So with that, have a good morning, evening, and night. And bye.
Bye.